Millie? Are you there? I just wanted to thank you for today. I know I've been keeping you waiting for a long time, but I just wanted to thank you for your patience and for agreeing to marry me.
No, Arnie, thank you so much. You have no idea how long I had been waiting for this. I was so happy when you got down on one knee for me and asked if I would marry you. I can't tell you how many times I had pictured you doing that exact same thing in my head.
I know, I can't believe that we're finally engaged now. We started dating when we were both 23 years old, and it's been 7 happy years together with you.
I know that this doesn't mean that things are going to be perfect between us from now on. I'm sure that there are going to be plenty of challenges that we'll have to go through from here on out. But I'm just happy that we'll be going through them together.
I know what you mean, Millie. I really am so happy about how things went.
I know. This was a perfect day, and I'm so grateful to have someone like you in my life, Arnie.
By the way, how exactly do you think we should go about making the announcement to my dad? And your dad, for that matter. I guess there's a lot of people we're going to have to make calls to now. And given that both of our dads work in the same company, they basically see each other every single day. Maybe we should just go see them at work and tell them both at the same time.
Yeah, I was also wondering about what the best way to go about doing that would be. But I think that might be a nice way to get 2 birds with 1 stone.
So, then you just want to go to their office tomorrow when we can tell them then?
I really think that any time would work for me. I don't think I have anything going on tomorrow. So as long as we find a time that works for all 4 of us, it shouldn't be a problem.
Great. In that case, I'll ask my dad when he thinks would be a good time to go over and be able to talk to the 2 of them at the same time. When he gets back to me, I'll let you know what he said, and we can decide our plan.
Sounds good to me. Thank you for doing that, Arnie. I appreciate you asking about that. Also, speaking of telling people about our engagement, have you put any thought into how we should go about telling your mom?
I've actually been trying specifically not to think about that, if I could be perfectly honest with you.
Well, it's not like I can't understand why. I mean, when we first started dating, she was always telling you to break up with me since my dad was a single father. I mean, we didn't even tell her that we were actually in a relationship until after your parents split up. But we were dating for a whole 4 years before that.
Yeah, I mean, I think my mom actually still isn't sure whether or not we're still dating. Although, judging from some of the things she says, I'm not sure she knows that we are. I think maybe she didn't really understand when we tried to tell her that we were dating because she was so wrapped up in the divorce and all that.
Right. Well, now that we've come this far, I wonder how she's going to react hearing that we are in fact dating each other right now. More than that, we've just gotten engaged. It's going to be a shock to her.
Yeah, I think you're right. We'll have to think of a way that we can tell her about it without giving her too much of a surprise.
Do you think something like that is even going to be possible?
Well, it's been about 4 years since her and my dad have gotten a divorce. And the last time that I talked to her was after that happened, to try and tell her we were still dating. But I haven't spoken with my mom since then. I mean, we're basically estranged if you think about it. To be perfectly honest, I was thinking that we really don't even have to invite her to the wedding if we don't want to. And I think my dad would probably agree with me on that one.
You really feel that way? Well, I guess you would know better than me since I've hardly interacted with her as well.
I know, that is one thing that I regret between us. I should have explained all of this more clearly to you. But I'm sure you can see why that was difficult for me after you met my mom.
Please don't beat yourself up about this at all, Arnie. I know that you were just thinking about my well-being and how I was going to interact with her. I really do appreciate you looking out for me.
Thank you for being so understanding. You don't know how lucky you make me feel to be with you. I really am so happy that we're engaged now. It really is like a dream come true, Millie.
I feel the exact same way. It's like I said, I know that we might have some challenges up ahead, but we'll get through them together.
I know that we will. Anyways, I'm going to talk to my dad and ask him what time he thinks we could go over to see him. I'll let you know what he says.
Sounds good to me. Thank you so much for doing that, Arnie.
Arnie, are you there? You've got some serious explaining to do, young man. I happened to hear from a friend of mine the other day that you were going to be getting married today. What is the matter with you, son? Why wouldn't you tell me, your own mother, that this was going to be happening? Why am I having to find out through the grapevine in the day before it's happening? Well, lucky for you, I know how to act fast. I've already found a place that's willing to rent me a dress, but unfortunately, I didn't have enough time to make an appointment at the hair salon. But I have no idea just what you're thinking, trying to hold a wedding without your own mother there. Who ever heard of that happening? Anyways, I'm on my way to the wedding right now, so I'll see you soon. Hello there. I take it that this is the phone number for Millie, yes? I really have to say, I am just shocked to see you here at my son's wedding. I mean, just what on earth do you think you're doing here, huh? I thought you and my son broke up years ago. I have no idea why in the world Arnie would invite an ex to his wedding. But I want you to know that you seem to be acting awfully close with my son. I just want you to know that you better not be thinking of trying to flirt with him or anything like that. Because I am not going to have some little girl who was only raised by her father hanging around my perfect little boy. I told you years ago that you both needed to break up. And I haven't changed how I feel about since then. Do you understand me? I realize that a lot has changed since my days when men were worried about the age of their wife or if they were divorced before. But this is too much. You need to quit stalking my son and realize that you've already lost him, okay? It's over. So just leave him alone and let him get married. So you thought you could just ignore the messages that I was sending you, huh? Well, I didn't go through the trouble of hunting down your number just to be ignored. Just remember that you forced me to take things into my own hands, got it?
I was wondering who it was that came up behind me, grabbed me by my collar, and started dragging me out of the venue. And lo and behold, when I turned around, it was you. I didn't even think that you were invited to the wedding in the first place. Isn't that right?
You have no idea what you're talking about. I'm Arnie's mother. Of course I'm invited. I just have a right to be here. But as for you, I want to know just what you think you're doing here. Don't you know that Arnie ended things with you a long time ago? I want to know what you're doing here.
What am I doing here? Did you seriously just ask me that? I think that I'm here for my wedding day, thank you very much.
What on earth are you talking about? You think that you're going to marry my son? You're just his creepy little stalker. You must really be crazy if you think that this wedding here today has anything to do with you. At all. Don't you realize that Arnie is here to get married to his real bride? You need to learn your place and leave him alone.
Learn my place? How's this for my place? You do know that I'm Arnie's boss, don't you?
What do you mean by that? His boss of what? What are you going on about now, you delusional woman?
Look, I'm going to go back into that venue and I'm going to get married. But you were never even invited here in the first place.
But that can't be right. I'm Arnie's mother. Of course I'm welcome to be here.
No, you're not. Arnie didn't invite you and you two haven't even spoken in years. Don't you get it?
What are you saying? That he's cut me out of his life or something like that?
Arnie, are you there? I think we have to talk about something really quickly.
Millie, I was wondering when I was going to hear from you. Are you okay? What happened? I was just stepping out to get some stuff from the car while helping to set up, and I noticed that my mom started sending me some messages. She said something about how she was going to force her way into the wedding if it was the last thing she does. Have you seen her around here?
Oh, I've done more than just see her. We had a little altercation, actually.
You mean you and her bumped into each other? That's crazy! What happened?
Well, after you stepped out, she barged her way into the building and grabbed me by my collar out of the venue. She grabbed my collar and my wrist, and I think she really hurt my right hand. Thankfully, I'm left-handed, but still, I'm not happy to be getting married after suffering an injury from your mom. But thankfully, one of the friends who was helping us decorate is a doctor, and he looked at it. He said it isn't serious, and it shouldn't cause any serious problems for us.
Got it. Well, that's really good to hear, but if my mom is here, then I'm going to try and find my dad so we can figure something out.
Please do. I'm sure this isn't going to be the last that you see of your mom today. So if you can handle her, that would be great.
Mom? What in the world do you think that you're doing here, huh? You've got some nerve showing your face around here.
Arnie, what a pleasant surprise. I was wondering when I was going to hear from you. But what do you mean, what am I doing here? I'm your mom and I'm here for your wedding.
Well, you weren't even invited in the first place. You know that, right?
What do you mean by that? I thought that was some kind of mistake or something.
No, it wasn't a mistake at all. I didn't invite you to my wedding, and we haven't even talked in years. I didn't even send you a wedding announcement, much less an invitation. Just how did you even figure out this was happening today? And more importantly, just what made you think that you were entitled to be here when you weren't invited and we haven't talked in forever?
But Arnie, please, you're being unreasonable.
I'm being unreasonable? You attacked my bride at a wedding you weren't even invited to! Just go home already.
Now you listen to me, son. Like it or not, I am your mother and I belong here.
We don't even have any preparations for you to just show up like this.
How could you do this to me? I thought that you broke up with that sad little girl. I told you that you were not going to be marrying someone raised by a single father.
And just who cares if she was raised by her dad? Why does that matter to you at all?
Because there is no way that a single father would know how to raise a girl well. Not to mention the fact that it probably means the two of them are poor.
And you actually out of your mom mind? First of all, Millie's father is a doctor.
Wait, what? Millie's father is a doctor?
That's right. He's a doctor who actually is a partner in several different clinics around town.
Wait, so he's a doctor and an entrepreneur.
Why are you pretending like you didn't know any of this? I know for a fact that I told you all of this when I first told you that Millie and I were dating.
Did you really tell me? I guess that I just don't remember is all.
Well, I did say so.
But I don't remember that. You can't be mad at me for that.
I don't know what I'm going to do with you, Mom. You're just such a prejudiced, judgmental person, and you never listen to anyone. Now look, Millie and I are going to be getting married tomorrow, and nothing is going to change that.
Arnie, don't you realize what you're doing?
Much better than you do, Mom. Much better than you do. Now do not interrupt our wedding again, or else.
Millie, are you there? We have seriously got to talk about something right now. I didn't believe you when you said it about Arnie, but are you really his boss? But more importantly than that, I was asking around and found out that you're my husband's boss as well?
Well, you two got a divorce 4 years ago, so I'm not sure if he's your husband anymore.
I didn't ask your thoughts about my relationship status. Just answer the questions. I didn't even know that he was even working for the same company that you were. So I want you to tell me why he's working with you and why he's working under you. Answer me right now!
Well, if you really must know, your husband's company went bankrupt 2 years ago.
Wait, you're telling me that my ex-husband's company went bankrupt 2 years ago?
That's literally what I just typed, yes. Anyways, I heard about that from Arnie, and there just happened to be some openings in my company. So, I put in a good word for him. He went through the hiring process. And in the end, he was placed in my department where I'm the supervisor. So yeah, I was able to give him a strong recommendation, and because I knew his skills, I knew that he would be a good fit for my department.
So that's it. It all makes sense now.
Sorry, what makes sense? I don't really trust that you know anything at all of what's going on.
I mean that in the background, it was always you.
Sorry, was that me? Literally, what are you talking about this time?
I mean that on the day of your wedding, when I dragged out of the venue, I told my husband that I wanted to be with him again. I told him that the only reason I said that Arnie couldn't marry you was because I was thinking about his happiness. I thought that if my ex knew that I was only thinking of our son, that he would take me back. But he said no. He said that he would never, ever marry me again. He told me that you attacked his boss and marrying you would ruin his career. I had no idea what he was talking about until I put it together that he had to be referring to you. So, this is all your fault. This is all part of your plan to ruin my life.
I'm sorry, but I was never doing anything like that, and I don't care about who you marry. You and your husband divorced for your own reasons. And from what I hear, it mostly had to do with you spending all the money your ex made. You were so greedy and selfish that he realized he just couldn't be with you anymore.
How dare you say that to me? You don't know what you're talking about. You need to learn some respect.
I really don't. In fact, this whole conversation is just silly. The next time you hear from it, it will be through my lawyer talking about our lawsuit.
You're going to be suing me? For what?
For breaking into a wedding that you weren't invited to and spraining my wrist. Now, goodbye. Apparently, Danny's selfishness and poor spending habits only worsened after her divorce. I found out later that she was swimming in debt from all of this. I think her approaching her husband was an attempt to find someone to pay her debts. She thought that if she could protect her son from his stalker, that he might take her back. It's just too bad she didn't realize that that stalker was her son's fiancé and ex's boss. The lawsuit proceeded, and Danny was forced to pay for my injuries as well as the fee for the trespassing. I told her that I wouldn't cancel her legal these if she agreed to sign a restraining order. And Danny realized she had no choice but to agree if she didn't want to go deeper into debt. She was also banned from contacting me ever again, while Arnie blocked her on every medium he could think of. Things are back to business as usual, however, except that now Arnie and I are happily married.
Hi, Omar. You know that today is Alina's entrance ceremony at her new high school, right?
Oh, hi, Rena. Yeah, I know. The entrance ceremony starts at 9, so I should get there a bit earlier, right? I have a night shift that day, so I'll be coming straight from my workplace, but I'll make sure not to be late.
What? Don't tell me you actually plan on coming, do you?
Yeah, I'm her father, aren't I? Why shouldn't I come to her entrance ceremony?
No, you can't come because you're just going to embarrass us. Alina doesn't want you to come.
What do you mean I'll embarrass you guys? I mean, I went to her graduation ceremony at her middle school, so why can't I go now? Besides, I heard that it's normal for both parents to come to the entrance ceremony. It would be better if I came as well, I think.
No, it's true. It's normal for both parents to come, but there are single parents and stuff too, so it won't stand out that much. It would be better if I went alone and everyone thought I was a single parent than if I went with you.
Huh? What is that even? I know you guys aren't very proud of what I do for a living, but is it seriously that embarrassing? Besides, it's not like they're going to go around asking parents what they do for a living, are they?
Jesus, you really are an idiot. It doesn't matter if they don't ask you your profession because it's obvious what it is just by looking at you.
Huh? Come on, Rena. Aren't you over-exaggerating a bit? How are they supposed to know that I work at a factory just by looking at me?
I'm telling you, you don't understand the feelings of a teenage girl. You see, a father who works at a factory is embarrassing for a teenage girl.
Huh? Why exactly is it embarrassing then? I know it's nothing fancy like a pilot or a doctor, but it's nothing to be embarrassed of.
Of course you would say that. You're a factory worker. This new school of Alina's is a high-level private school, so the other students are going to pick on her if they find out that she's from the lower class. Besides, if you come to the entrance ceremony, the whole auditorium is going to stink, so go home.
Huh? Lower class? Just what exactly is this school you sent Elena to? Some sort of prep school? Well, I understand how she might stand out if they find out about her background, but is it really worth pretending I don't exist at all? And what do you mean go home? I haven't even went to the entrance ceremony yet.
I'm telling you not to go to her high school after your night shift is done and go straight home to our house. It's obvious you're going to stink after you just worked hours at a factory. Do you enjoy embarrassing us or something? It's not for me that you shouldn't go, but for Alina, since it's an important day, being her first day in high school and all. Apparently, Alina intends on telling everyone at her high school that her father works at a trading company and earns 100,000 euros a year. If you stink of factory, then they're going to know for sure that you don't actually work at a trading company. So? Do you understand why you can't come to her entrance ceremony now? Just don't go, all right? Why do you want to go so much in the first place?
Because I thought she was my daughter. You know, I can take a shower in my workplace before I come. I intend on changing into a suit before I go as well. I'm not going to go in the clothes I wear to work if that's what you're worried about.
No matter how much you clean yourself up or polish your appearance, you won't be able to get rid of the stink that's already a permanent part of your body. The one that comes from years working at a factory. It doesn't matter what you do, it's not going to make you any less embarrassing to us. Do you understand now? Don't come, no matter what. Hello, Father. Don't tell me you came to the entrance ceremony, did you? I heard from Mother that you intend to come, but don't come, no matter what, all right?
Elena, even you're telling me not to come? But I went to your middle school's graduation ceremony, didn't I? Why can't I go now that you're in high school?
That's because my middle school was in the area that we lived, so everyone knew about you in the first place. Meaning that there was no point in trying to hide it. But now that I'm going to a private school a bit farther from our hometown, I can make my own background from scratch since no one knows you.
What do you mean make your own background? So you intend on lying about yourself just to impress your new classmates? That isn't good, Elena. You might impress them at the start, but you're going to end up being one of those people that only do things to please others. You're never going to be happy yourself.
Wow, those are some impressive words for a factory worker. Did you copy and paste that from the internet or something? You see, I'm going to tell everyone that my father works at a trading company and earns 100,000 euros a year. It's not an embarrassing profession, unlike a factory worker, right? I need to fit in, Dad. This new school of mine is a high-level private school, so the parents of all the other students will probably have such high-income jobs.
So you think that your father working at a factory is embarrassing? I told your mom this already, but while working at a factory might not be flashy, it's an honest job that you shouldn't be embarrassed of. I'm sure not all of the parents will have high-income jobs. Surely there will be some people like you, right?
Of course it's embarrassing. I mean, you stink, first of all. And working at a factory is like the opposite of being stylish, and it's so uncool. That's why I don't like you working at a factory, and I don't care if there are other kids like me. I'm not proud of it, and that's all that matters.
I see. I understand. Fine, I won't come to the ceremony then. Although I was hoping that you would disagree with your mother, it seems I was mistaken.
Hey, Omar. What are these divorce papers you left on the table?
Sorry, but my heart's finally broke.
What? What do you mean your heart's finally broke? Are you some sort of teenage girl who just broke up with her boyfriend or something?
Make fun of me all you want, but I don't care what you say anymore. Both you and Elena have always looked down on me for working at a factory. I try not to think of it too much by telling myself that it can't be helped since Elena is a girl in puberty and that you're just sympathizing with her. But today was the last straw. I thought to myself, why didn't I just quit being a father entirely? And that's when my heart broke and I couldn't hold back my emotions anymore. Those divorce papers I left you are the result of those emotions.
Why don't you do as you please? I mean, you can barely provide for yourself with that meager salary of yours in the first place, let alone for the three of us. That's why I had to work a part-time job all these years, Omar. Because my husband worked at a factory and barely made any money.
I know that I never made that much money, but I did my best to provide for this family until now. Not anymore, though. I'm done. Let's hire a lawyer to deal with the details of property division and stuff.
Huh? A lawyer? Where are you right now?
I won't tell you where I am, but I'll just tell you that I'm in the city.
What do you mean, a lawyer? Don't you think you're over-exaggerating? I thought I just had to turn these papers into the city hall and we were done.
We could, but hiring a lawyer is the best way to avoid trouble with things like this. We mainly need to discuss financial matters, so it's best if we hire an expert to manage things, don't you think? There's a lot less risk of there being any issue. Just sign those divorce papers and turn them into City Hall whenever you like. Well, goodbye, Rena.
Hey, I heard that you were divorcing Mom. Is that true?
Yeah, it's up to your mom when she turns in the divorce papers up.
Nice! Finally, I was waiting for this day all my life. This is a good opportunity to get a new father, so I hope Mom actually marries someone who works at a trading company. Because then the background I made for myself will be real.
So you're going to continue telling everyone at school that your dad works at a trading company, even though me and your mom are getting divorced?
What? What do you care if I tell everyone my dad works at a trading company? Are you going to tell me that lying is bad and being honest is the best way to make friends or something? That's not how the real world works, Dad. Relationships would never get anywhere if people were honest.
Honestly, do whatever you want. I don't care what you do at school anymore. I just thought that it was strange because you're going to live with your mother after we get divorced, right? Won't your classmates eventually find out that you were lying?
Oh, I see. Well, it's not like anyone's asked me the details yet, so I'll just think of something later on.
So, is that all you wanted to tell me?
Yep. I just wanted to know whether it was true that you and Mom were getting divorced.
I see. Well, goodbye then, Elena.
Bye! Hello, Omar. I thought I'd tell you about the situation. I already turned in those divorce papers.
All right. I'm glad you accepted the financial terms of the divorce as well.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm lucky I got even that much out of the property division.
Yes, I added a little extra because I was the one who suddenly proposed a divorce, and it might affect Ellen's future. The money you need to raise Elena until she graduates from university is included in the money I gave you. Don't forget that. I don't want you spending it on any other nonsense.
Yeah, I already received an explanation from the lawyer, so it's fine.
All right then, I guess we're officially divorced now.
Yep. Goodbye, Mr. Low-Income Factory Worker. Hey, Omar! You've got to be kidding me, right? The factory you work at was shown on TV. You were interviewed, and they said something about you being the inventor of a new popular item and how you had numerous achievements over the years. And then they said you were going to be the CEO starting from next year. You didn't tell me anything about this, Omar. This can't be happening. To think you were headed straight for a promotion even when you were just a factory worker. I was almost the wife of a CEO. If I had known, I never would have divorced you. Hello, Father. I just graduated high school, and now I'm going to go to university.
Long time no see, Elena. Time flies so fast. You already graduated high school?
Yeah, and I want you to give me the tuition for university.
Huh? But your university tuition was already included in the money I gave your mother when we got divorced.
What? Seriously?
By the way, what university are you going to be entering?
A university.
If it's a university, then the money I gave your mother should be enough to pay for the tuition, since it's a national university, right? Why are you asking me for tuition?
I mean, Mom said that you didn't earn much money, so you could only pay for my tuition until I graduated high school. But you're still my father, so even if you don't earn that much money, it's still your duty as my parent to somehow grant my dreams when I say that I want to go to university.
I see. It seems like Mom didn't tell you anything.
What do you mean?
It's going to be inconvenient for me if you start following me around or something, so I'll explain it to you myself.
Huh? What do you mean, follow you? But I'm your daughter. Isn't that a bit cold?
You see, Elena, you're your mother's child from her previous marriage.
What?
You see, the two of us never legally became related to each other since there was opposition from our families, so I didn't need to provide for your tuition in the first place when me and your mom got divorced. But since I was the one who proposed a divorce, I felt responsible for what it might do to your future. I decided to give your mother an extra 120,000 euros on top of the property division I already gave her to pay for your tuition until you graduate university and stuff.
1,200 euros? But if you can afford that much, just a bit more shouldn't be a problem for you, right? You see, 98% of people from my high school go on to university, so everyone's going to laugh at me if I don't go to university as well. So please, just give me the university tuition.
That's impossible.
Why not?
You see, 120,000 euros was a huge amount of money for me at the time. It was basically all my savings, and I had to be really tight with money for a while after that. I've only recently been able to spend up an average amount of money again. Sorry, but I'm not going to go through that trouble again.
But if you don't give it to me, I won't be able to go to university.
So where's the money that I gave your mom that was supposed to pay for your tuition then?
I don't know.
All right, then you should ask your mother about it and talk to her about what to do from now on. If she doesn't have the money anymore, then it can't be helped, and you'll have to get a scholarship or get a tuition loan or get a student loan or something.
But even if you tell that to me now...
It might seem cold to you, but I really have nothing to do with it anymore. So you can't just involve me in your financial matters like this. You're not my daughter. The 120,000 euros I gave your mom 3 years ago was the most I could do at the time. Please don't contact me again.
Father!
No, I'm not your father. But I do hope that you find happiness, though. Good luck.
Omar! Why did you tell Alina that you weren't actually her father and that you had given me 1,200,000 euros when we got divorced? But if she doesn't get a job as soon as she graduates high school, we won't be able to support ourselves anymore. We don't have any money.
If ever Elena comes to me begging for money in the future, you won't oppose me telling her that she wasn't actually my daughter and about the circumstances involving our marriage.
Huh?
This was one of the conditions you agreed to when I gave you the 120,000 euros.
Oh, damn it.
It looks like you understand now, so goodbye.
Hold on, but it's true that we don't have any money. I heard that ever since you became the CEO, the company's business has been doing better than ever, so you can give us money, right?
Would you please just cut it out already? Didn't I tell you that Elena's tuition until university was included in the money I gave you? It's your fault for not listening to me and using it on who knows what.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. I intended to leave some money for Alina's university tuition, but before I noticed it was just gone. So please, Omar, help your family.
Sorry, but you guys aren't my family anymore. You see, I got remarried and I'm going to have a child soon, which means that I don't have any money to spare as I have to provide for my actual family.
Seriously? You got remarried and you're going to have a baby soon?
Yes, that's what I said. Well then, goodbye for real this time. I had my suspicions as to what had happened to the 120,000 euros I gave Rena, but apparently she quit her part-time job after we got divorced. Apparently the 120,000 euros was used to support the two of them during the 3 years Elena was in high school, as well as for Elena's tuition. Honestly, what she did was more sane than I had expected. I thought that she would spend the money on random garbage like new bags or something. Anyways, ultimately, Elena gave up on going to university, but she didn't get a job either. After finding out that her mother used the money that was supposed to pay for her university tuition, she became feral and started just staying in her room all day. Rena was terrified of Elena's wrath, and so she started working part-time again. But since she only earns minimum wage and has to start from the beginning, the two were barely able to keep themselves alive, it seems. Not only that, but apparently Rena's new job was at a factory, the place she herself made fun of me so many times for working at. I guess she got what she deserved for making fun of a person's profession without even understanding what exactly it is that they do. Maybe karma does really exist.